All right, so if you turn to the back of your notes, this is example 1. Go ahead and write your equation down. And the instructions say you want to identify these 4 things, and then you're going to graph, okay? So when you look at your equation, the first thing you need to pay attention to is your A and B. Because remember, your quantities here are always going to be X and Y. That's not going to change any. It's the A and B. So the larger number, the larger denominator will be your A. So in this case, if 9 is my larger number, this is my A squared, which means this has to be my big B squared. If 9 is my A squared, A is my 3, B is my 2. You see how fast I got that? Boom. So now I'll be ready to count when it's time to count. All right? What type of ellipse is this? Is it vertical or horizontal? Well, remember I told you if you lead with the A, that's always going to be a horizontal ellipse. Now, they don't ask for that, but you do need to know that so that when you graph your ellipse, it looks right. So this is definitely going to be a horizontal because your A is leading. Now, what is your center? That's the first thing that they ask for. Well, your center is your H and K. So when you pull that out, hopefully you see that your center is -1, +3. So let's go ahead and plot that. 1, there's my center right there. Okay, did I do that right? Okay, now the rest of the things that you have here all deal with your distance. Your A, your B, your C. Okay, now we have the A and B. So we just need to count. Remember, A is the distance from the center to the vertex or the vertices. B is the distance from the center to the co-vertices. Okay? So if this is going to be a horizontal ellipse, remember that the greater your A is always going to be with your vertices. So let's start there. If my center is here and my vertices are 3 units away, I'm going to go 3 to the right and 3 to the left or left to right or whatever, however it's looking. Okay, so here we go. If this is my C, so you're just going to count over 3. So that, I think, would hit me here from a vertex, and you got it better than I do, here for the other vertex. And what you want to do is go ahead and, write that down for your coordinates. So that would be, let's see, 2, 3 is the first one. And I'm all the way over 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 5 or 4? Wait. How far am I over? Let's see. I'm already at 1, so that should be 5, I think. I'm at 1, so 1, 2, 3, -4. -4, 3 for my vertices. So there's your coordinates for the vertices. Can y'all see that? I'm sorry. There you go. Okay, so all I did was count. Remember counting. Don't underestimate it. My B is 2, and that's going to be the center to the co-vertices. So that means I'm going to go up 2 to get my co-vertices and down 2 to get the other one. And then we just label the coordinates. So that's -1 and 5. It's one of them. And the other one is -1 and +1. There's my co-vertices. Now, at this point, you have enough if you want to go ahead and loop your points around to see your ellipse. So let's go ahead and do that. Because your ellipse is just, you remember these vertices are the edges. Points on the edges, the furthest points away. So you can go ahead and just kind of loop those around, and you see you got a little baby ellipse there right in your graph. But they ask for one more thing. That's the focus point. Now the focus points, that's your distance C. That's your distance C, okay? We don't have a C anywhere in here. But you've got to remember that I told you that C is the square root of A squared minus B squared. That distance is the square root of A squared minus B squared. So let's just plug and chug, all right? Your C is going to be 9 minus 4. Just the numbers that you got here. C is equal to the square root of 5. Now, I know we can't count the square root of 5, But if you recall, in the last video, I told you, and I'll write it down. Let's see, let's move it over. Because this is a horizontal, here's your focus points right here. Your H, you've got. Your K, you've got. The C, we just found. So, if I want to get the coordinates of my focus point, I'm just going to come right back over here, and I'm just going to take that. My H is, which one is my H? That's -1. So that's -1 plus or minus the square root of 5 and my K. Now, I'm not going to try to graph that because that square root of 5, I think it's like 2 point something, and then you'd have to go to the left or the right. What you need to know for sure is that focus point would lie somewhere in here. And this is at 3, so it would be right on this line somewhere. So if you just write it, you don't necessarily have to try to plot it unless we can. So I think the square root of 5 is like 2 point something. So that would be like -1 plus or minus 2.2 or something, comma 3. So you would go over a little bit, maybe 1.5, about right there, and then 1.5 about right there, and that would be your focus points, and then you've got everything. All right, that's a lot, but you can do it.